Hey everybody! The 2024 roadmap for Don't Starve Together just dropped, and it brought some news which is going to shake up the way content gets delivered in the game. Now, I think this news is going to make for a massive improvement to the game and to its content schedule, and I want to tell you why I think so. In a nutshell, the era of monthly DST updates is coming to an end. Instead of pushing out numerous small categorical updates, this year, Klei intends to release 4 major updates, and each one will contain a mix of quality of life changes, new content, and character updates, which can be read as skill trees. Now, the time between these large updates will be interspersed with lore shorts, game news, and occasional new skins. This means that instead of the monthly content that we've come to expect from Klei, there will be much larger gaps between updates. But when they do come, they will be far more substantial and comprehensive. Now, despite the reality that we'll be seeing DST update less frequently, this is incredible news. One of the biggest concerns I've had with the way the game received updates over the past few years is the speed at which they came and the limited amount of time the developers had to weed out the bugs, take community feedback, and make corrections before the roadmap forced them on to the next scheduled update. As a result, a lot of the content felt incomplete, and often the fix needed to be set aside for later. So for much of last year, I felt like I was playing a game that was constantly unfinished and in flux, with new bugs popping up at random and aspects of new content that took months to become fully realized. At the same time, it would feel like smaller updates did not always impact the experience of the game in a noticeable way. Looking back at everything that got added last year, yeah, there is a lot of new stuff, and the content is impressive. But when presented in smaller bits, it didn't feel as substantial or exciting. Personally, I just felt less of an incentive to play an update when the only new stuff to check out was a couple of skill trees for characters that I never played, or a bite-sized crossover event that only added a few new craftables. But the idea of larger content updates that also add QOL improvements and character changes had me very excited for the future of DST. I don't share Klei's trepidation that fewer updates will slow down interest in the game or disengage the community. DST has been around for over 8 years, and if you keep pushing exciting large updates to a game that we already love, I have no fear that that interest is going to wane. There's plenty of examples of older indie games like Stardew Valley or Terraria with slower frequency of updates that still have very strong communities formed around content creators, discords, and game servers. DST is still going to be updated more frequently than these games, and the larger updates are more likely to draw new players and bring back older players. I am convinced that the community is not going anywhere. I do wish we got a bit more specific information on the content of these updates. As per usual, the roadmap is very vague on specifics. The 2023 roadmap was downright cryptic, and I had no idea what to make of it. At least this one is tackling head-on one of the glaring issues that seem to arise directly from the response of last year's updates, and I'm assured in knowing that Klei is trying to do this responsibly. I'm just very hopeful that when updates are larger, we will have working versions of the game that feel more completed at the time, and I don't need to constantly reassure players that the fix is coming later. Based on the 2-year timeline of Return of Them, I'm predicting 2024 will see a conclusion of the current content arc. From Beyond has been a real transformative collection of updates, but it still has a lot of loose ends to tie up, and the world with lunar rifts still feels unbalanced and incomplete. We need more options for controlling the rifts, managing the frequency of bright shade spawning, creating areas that are safe from infestation, and generally just more good reasons to irrevocably change the world into a more dangerous version of the constant. I'm excited to see the new skill trees get added, and hope they can eventually make everyone more compatible with the Rift content. Especially characters like Wanda and Warley, whose special abilities have been somewhat marginalized by planar mobs. In short, I love this roadmap. I applaud Klei for taking the game in this direction, and I think it's going to have a positive effect on the development of the game and the experience of its player base. Larger updates are going to cultivate more hype, content creators will be more excited to show off new content, and legacy players will have more reasons to revisit the game. The other exciting news worth mentioning is that Twitch drops are going to last for an entire month again! A handful of us Klei ambassadors lobbied for this change, and we are very happy that our viewers will have more time to earn drops by watching our streams. It's a selfish joy, but nobody will complain. Just kidding, it's DST. Somebody will complain. Let me know what you think of these changes, and tell me what content you are looking forward to seeing in 2024. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.